caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. Good evening, and welcome everybody to the Caltrop. I am your host, Michael Calderese, and I am trying my damnedest to get away from talking about the one and only thing that everybody's talking about. And, listen, I know it's huge. I know it's big. I feel like everybody's beating it with a dead horse, but I almost, it's almost like you can't get away from it because, by the way, once again, welcome to the Caltrop. We are your home where bullshit stops, where truth begins. And I have told everybody that I make it my mission to call out fake, and the conspiracy brain in me, you start seeing a lot of things and you start hearing people close to him talking, and the conspiracy brain in me gets going. And I can't help it but kind of get wrapped up in a lot of the things that are happening right now. And I'm really exploring the Israel route that's going on. And listen, we have a lot in the show, but not a lot in the show. Okay. Because we have Candace Owens. I have a lot on Candace Owens. Candace Owens is going off. I wake up this morning to my son saying, Dad, Candace Owens is next. What she's saying right now. She is next. She's going to be killed. Right. He is 100%. She is going. After hearing some of the things that we're going to be playing in a little bit, I tend to believe him that she is going to be going. We also have obviously Cash Patel. Cash Patel, once again, it seems like this circus goes over and over, and it's just in a different period of time. But Cash Patel is in front of the Senate, and one of the things that I am loving about Trump's appointees are they are hammering the other side. When they start coming at them with their bullshit and reclaiming my time, they're not stopping. They're going off. We have that. I have a little bit of Ted Cruz today. We have some Jerry Nadler, if you look at it, a little bit of Tucker Carlson going off on this. Like I said, I have a lot of Candace Owens. Steven Crowder, if you don't know what Steven Crowder is, he called for legal violence. Don't know what really the fuck that is, but we're gonna be talking about that again. But let's start off with the mics right. And I don't have an official monologue tonight because there's just nothing to monologue about, so we're just gonna talk. All right, so I alluded to Steven Crowder. Let's start off with this because I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody's been seeing what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, especially this last week. And I made a post today. Let me just start here. I made a post today that was thanking the mayor of Bricktown, like I spoke to her. I spoke about that on the last show. And it's funny because when I do things like this, all of a sudden I become a Democrat. All of a sudden I'm on the fucking left. No matter what, if I'm just honest about some things I don't like about Trump, all of a sudden I'm a Biden dick sucking leftist, that wants communism and loves Karl Marx. That's the shit that gets thrown at me. And you hear something that's going on. A lot of the people are saying this is not a both sides issue. And you hear me saying this is a both sides issue. And you see me on I don't know if you have, but on my Brick Breakdown show, I gave a lot of credit to the mayor because I think it took a lot of grace. I said so on this show. But we have a situation where no matter what, if I give the left any little bit of credit, I get attacked. And you have people that are out there like Steven Crowder, like a lot of these other really fucking big names. And you're saying this isn't a both sides issue? This is a both sides issue. When I come out and I'm the one saying, hey guys, we got to calm it down, and I get told I'm a jerk off, fuck you, this is war, or something that Steven Crowder said, listen to this.
You've had the weekend. Are you less angry or more angry? Do you feel as though you've gotten the rest you need, or is it the kind of tired that sleep doesn't seem to fix? Because that's where a lot of us are here, I know. And I want to say a couple of things. Last week, some words I think could be taken out of context. And I want to be really, really clear, especially while we're at this boiling point in our country, where people may take some clips and tell you that Steven Crowder is irresponsible. He advocated violence. That's right. I am. I want to be crystal clear about that. I am advocating for lawful violence defensively that has been abandoned for years, and I want it to replace where grace was afforded before. So I want to be clear. I'm not calling for anyone to go out in the street and commit random acts of violence or even targeted acts of violence. That is not what I am calling for. But I am calling for lawful violence to protect you and your own where you afforded.
So I think I cut that off a little bit, but it said where you were afforded grace to the left. And I've talked about this with you guys a lot. I mean, this is the stuff that I'm warning everybody about. I warned, well, I commented on the Republicans page in my town, because they went after Elisa for our mayor for not putting out a message that we fully condemn any type of political violence. I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't see her comment on any other thing. I didn't see that was necessary. But I get what they're trying to do. You have to push people in a passionate way to your side. And when everybody is passionate, like everybody's all hopped up and passionate right now because you watch blood sport out of a guy, you see that, and they have to tap into that. They have to try to tap into that. And this is what you're seeing out of Steven Crowder. What the fuck? Can someone put this in the chat? What is legal violence? I have no idea what legal violence is. What is that? Lawful violence defensively. What does that even mean? I went on to listen to it just so I get all the context, and I still didn't even get what the fuck he was talking about. This is a prominent figure on the right, one of the biggest names out there, and you're talking about legal violence defensively? Okay, I get the concept. But why are we putting it out there like every leftist is out to kill somebody? We don't even know that it was the leftists. Do you really believe the official story? I would love to, guys. I mean this for everything. I would love it if this was the actual official story. Like that was the actual killer of Charlie Kirk. Like that was the guy that we knew it. We got it that fast. He's it. You see pictures of this of the snapshot that they have outside of the building. And you see pictures of this kid. Their faces don't really match up. There's things jumping off the building. I don't know where he had the gun on him. That was very interesting. You have to have all these text messages. All these text messages are just released with kind of zero context to them. They're not time stamped or anything. They just let out the text messages to the news agencies. I didn't see the actual, again, I can't see it maybe because it's evidence, but you're already leaking it. There's things about this that are really fucking crazy. But you immediately come out and you tell people that, and you have your platform. What is this going to do? That's tapping in to the raw, emotional, pissed off nature that everybody's in. And I told you guys yesterday, you got to be watch out for false prophets. You have to watch out for this. Listen, I've criticized Candace Owens in the past, but let's get into her really quick. Is she next? I think you're seeing a clear delineation of who's bought by Israel and who's not. I'll tell you that much. Tucker Carlson, definitely not. Candace Owens, definitely not. Now, was Charlie Kirk? Because when you get into this, you start now, now that he's dead, you really start thinking about certain things, and certain things start coming out, like his funding and who he's getting funding by. That came out. But you think about this, it's like, how does that happen? Do you think Charlie Kirk did this all by himself? He did it all by himself. He had nobody backing him. He had no big time money backing him. All by himself. No. I bet somebody saw the potential in this kid, funded him, backed him. And then what happened? Then all of a sudden you become huge. You become the name. You become the person. Now, why am I being told what to say by these people? You start speaking your own mind, and then you have people that are coming at you. Is that what took place with Charlie Kirk? Because Candace is kind of naming names. Let's start off with this. This is very interesting. She comes out firing with this.
And that phone call, what took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons. He had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made.
Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That's what she said. So I don't know Bill Ackman, I don't know. This guy, I've heard of him. Is he that big of a player? Obviously he is. I guess he is. Tell me if you know who the fuck that is in the chat. I really didn't look him up because I'm not trying to dig that far into it. As far as that's concerned, because who that guy means nothing. He's the middleman. He's the guy that's just talking to Charlie, trying to push him to do the will of what the real people are saying. He's the what do you want to call him, capo in the mob? You really have the mob that's up there, and the mob seems like what Candace is saying. It seems like it's Netanyahu. It seems like it's Netanyahu in Israel. And I'm not pushing this theory. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm working it through it in my mind. I need your help with it. I would love it if you guys could give me the feedback on what you saw, what you think about this, because Candace was very close. She's one of the originators of Turning Point. She had to see everything from the very beginning. And if you look at what happened with her and Ben Shapiro, the second that she went against Israel in any single way, she got fired from Daily Wire. Once again, more free speech people that praise free speech, yet they're trying to censor the speech of others. And this is what Candace had to say about Israel. Listen to this, or Israel's supporters.
It is like, if you want to know why everyone hates rabid supporters of Israel, it's because they never change their tune, right? They're like in the comments being like, Bill Ackman, sue her, take her money, just take her money. That's it. That's how we win. This is what they always do. They threaten to sue you. They threaten to smear you, to libel you. All of us collectively, the globe, we're tired of you guys. Okay. It's always about money, threats, all of this stuff. It's ridiculous. Do what we say or we'll ruin your life. We're going to call up all our friends and we'll just start writing hit pieces about you and we'll destroy you. Do what we say or we'll have you canceled. We'll have your sponsorships dropped. Do what we say or we'll make sure that you're fired. We'll put pressure so that you can't earn an income. If you're still not going to listen to us and you survive that, we're going to sue you for everything you have. You guys suck, okay? We don't care about your money. We are tired of it. This reveals who you are, not who I am. The truth should be enough. I've offered him my platform. If there is more you'd like to say, Bill, things you'd like to clarify, again, my platform is yours, even though I know you're so highfalutin and above us. He even says in that tweet, by the way, he's like, and the fact that she monetized her video, something along those lines, like talking about yesterday's episode, oh my God, how can she read ads?
So, she's going scorched earth against Israel. You would think she would be next in the string of what I think is going to be some pretty high stakes political assassinations. Do you see that? Anybody see the temperature dropping at all over the past week? Or do you just see the rhetoric escalating? Do you see the hate and the vitriol escalating? Right? I don't want to jump around, but let's just to prove this point, let's go ahead and play Cory Booker with Cash Patel. And you tell me if you think this is escalating tensions, or are we trying to de-escalate tensions?
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is
I
my
follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to address
There should be a
your
unifying-
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not
Senator,
take
it is my
responsibility
time.
for what
You
you
had your
have said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making
time
a
is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what
you
my
tell-
time is.
Senator,
You can't lecture me.
you can tell me
Sir,
my time's over?
You may be the charge of
I'm not going
but
anywhere.
I am not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman,
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And he has the privilege to do that uninterrupted.
For the record, that guy helped draft the original version of the Constitution. That's how long he's been in office, just to kind of put a stamp on that. But does that seem, anybody to you, does that seem like we've taken this and said, okay, we have to try to calm down a little bit? Or does it look like we're still screaming at each other? And for the record, I love what Cash Patel's doing. I love it when these guys talk over him. I love it when they yell right back over the top of him. I love it when they shove whatever childish garbage that they're doing in their face. But I got to ask the left a question because they're always talking about decorum. Hey, leftists, do you approve of Cory Booker's decorum? I bet you do. This is the actual problem. Because when I say certain things about the left, I think a far majority of you love that in Cory Booker. That's why he's doing it. Coach Patterson said something the other day. One of our guests said, there is a customer base for this stuff. That's why it happens. If people turned it off, there wouldn't be the customer base. But there's a want, there's a need, and Cory Booker is filling that need. There's a lot of people that want this fight, both on the left and the right. Anybody wants to say otherwise, that this isn't a two-sided issue, you're being lied to. You're being lied right to your face. This is a both sides issue. Both sides are stoking this shit. Both sides are saying the other side is crazy. When Steven Crowder says that you have to arm yourself and do not give leftists grace, he's comparing all leftists to that shooter. What does that do to the leftists? If you were a leftist, now you're going to say, you're going to do the same thing I've been doing by getting called a racist for how many years? You're gonna rebel against that type of shit. All of a sudden, you're almost going to become the racist that they call you because you just don't care. But then what happens? You say something, you speak your mind, you get attacked. This is where we're at. And I don't see the right and I don't see the left learning from what the hell is taking place. Therefore, the only thing I think is that this is going to continue. What I fear is I feel like AOC or someone like that getting popped. These people better start looking up, especially Candace Owens. She better start looking up at every ceiling, every building, every rooftop. If I was her, I'd be wearing a bulletproof everything. Drive around in the damn Pope mobile. Because what do you do if you're Tucker Carlson? Do you think Tucker Carlson right now is fearing for his life? What about Rachel Maddow? Because honestly, if I was a high profile, even Bill Maher, somebody that high profile, what are you doing if you're on the right and someone on the right and everyone's hopped up and everyone's emotional? You know there's crazy right-wing people out there. Let's not fucking even play around, that have more guns than you've ever even imagined. Just waiting for the time. Just sitting here waiting for the time that they gonna rise again. You know this is real, but we don't calm it down. We don't calm it down. Even Candace Owens, she's drawing these battle lines that are just fucking awesome to watch. Between Ben Shapiro, the left, you could clearly see it going on there. But these people are ready for war. This is her talking about kings are born. And anybody that's going to sit in that seat, she is going to bring like fire, hell, and brimstone at you.
Going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay? And I want you guys to understand, this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now. Don't do it. Okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair. Okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
Which I'm sure can be arranged. Dude, I'm telling you, man, she is. I love it. I love this type of. I love this type of attitude. It's like I feel like I'm watching Major League. It's like, yeah, I love that kind of spirit in a player. The only problem is I didn't catch you, But listen, man, this is everybody I'm hearing on this is asking for blood, dude. No matter what they're saying. I mean, and everybody's trying to take advantage of it in their own way. We spoke about that on Monday, but people are asking for blood. There's no calm down anymore. There's no grace. There's no everybody, let's stop. This is going to be one side destroy the other. That's just the way I see. Tell me if I'm wrong. PT Pod says breaking news: Jimmy Kimmel just got fired. Yeah, I saw that. It's in the show. We'll get to woke fuck Jimmy fag ass, according to Jersey Ape 69. Biggie McD says, I'd like to know too what lawful violence is. I mean, I guess lawful violence is when you're defending yourself, right? I mean, I guess that's what it is. When I'm defending myself, I'm going to be very, very violent with people when I'm defending myself. But in what context are you calling for that violence, this legal violence? Look, what situations are you ever in with a leftist that calls for that type of stuff? He's telling all of us that it's like we are being shot at by leftists on a day-to-day basis, where I'm like dodging bullets from these people. And if that's the way you're making it seem, you have millions of impressionable people that listen to him. What's that going to do? You're telling me there's not one crazy son of a bitch out there that's going to take it amongst themselves to defend themselves? A lot of people say the best defense is offense, and vice versa. Well, if you're playing defense on offense, what are you doing? You're going to be shooting first. I don't get it. But even, I mean, I don't get the idea of this, let's dig into our sides even more. Somebody has to explain to me how this helps. Somebody has to explain to me how this is not going to result in way more violence. And listen, I'm okay. I'm okay with violence, I guess, if this is what you want, because that's what we're going to be getting. I'll prepare for it. But it's just funny because like I said before, I all of a sudden become a Democrat when I talk like this, because God forbid I really don't want to see people killed. I become a Democrat. No, I think at some point every single one of us has got to stop following these people that are forcing you into these sides, into these tribes. We have to stop doing that, because what's happening on that nationwide scale is not happening here. It's not happening in your life. It's really not. You're not under attack by leftists. Chances are your neighbor's a leftist and you eat dinner with them and you barbecue and you drink beers with the guy. He's not shooting at you. And if he is, it's probably going to be a dildo gun. So you're going to be fine. Especially if you like that kind of thing. But you have this. And, you know, you see this. People are going to be fighting. This is going to be it's going to be very interesting going forward with these big groups, with these big names. You know, we have Tucker Carlson. Here's another one. This is Tucker talking about Israel, obviously. What bigger play? No matter what you talk about, Israel seems to be involved. No matter what it is, their name always pops up. I don't give a shit if it's about 9/11. I don't care if it's anything. Their name is always involved in stuff. Somebody has to ask why. But this is Tucker.
He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true. Shortly after that speech, there was a very intense attack on Charlie, and to some extent on me, not that I really noticed. But on him, I have no donors. He had $100 million worth of donors. And so, because he was involved in a different project from just yapping on the internet, which is what I do for a living, he was dependent to a great extent on his donors, of course. It's a nonprofit. And they went after him and tormented him. Not all, of course. Many were supportive, but the ones who were offended by my speech, and there was a small, very intense group who were, tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died.
Tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died. That's what he was saying. That he was under immense pressure. Pressure from who? Right? One of the things that I didn't hear in the Cash Patel stuff, and you know, they're going back and forth and they're doing their show. I think it's to mask some of this. Because am I really going to believe that this kid just acted by himself? Him and his tranny boyfriend, trans boyfriend? Is this the story that it's kind of like, am I this dumb just to automatically believe that story? The government has been lying to me for the past, I don't know how many years, my entire life, 43 years, and especially the 20 years where I've really been paying attention to this stuff after 9/11. And the government has lied to me from 9/11 on. They have not told me the truth. Not COVID, not climate change. There was supposed to be no ice in Antarctica right now. None. Zero, according to fucking Al Gore. Polar bear, no polar bears. All the polar bears were dead. We should have no polar bears. Or the polar bears were going to be swimming. Remember, they were going to swim across the ocean, and they were going to be land bears. They're going to be the biggest things ever. Killing everything in sight. The attack of the frozen polar bears. But there were supposed to be none of them. They've been lying to us for how long? And all of a sudden, I'm just supposed to accept this narrative that some kid and his trans boyfriend have all these text messages on Discord. Discord comes out and says, we have no record of this guy using our platform. They're going next in front of the circus that is Congress. So let's see. I don't know. They're going to accuse them of being a left-wing hate distribution site. When are we ever going to find out the reality of what's this guy's downstream? You have his neighbor coming out, and this isn't popularized, but the kid's neighbor came out and said that They had a lot of out of state plates coming by his house. They asked the one kid if they were, boyfriend and boyfriend. He's like, well, guys don't typically hold hands and kiss if they're just friends. You ought to see CNN. CNN's like, cut that shit. What are you talking about? Why are we interviewing this maniac? But this is what these people are saying. They're saying that Charlie was under immense pressure. This is Candace on that.
To do other than to scroll through messages between me and Charlie, regarding which there are a ton of them. And kept going back and watching the many videos of us dancing to the song Power. And it felt appropriate to reach out to Ye, speaking about things, talking about his mode when he wrote the song. When you wrote the song Power, why did we have it as our hype song? Because the song is about the ability to find it within yourself to become what you are capable of becoming inside of a matrix. When you just realize everything is dishonest, that everything is performative, that people are dishonest, that they are going to try to stop you from being great. In fact, it's the end of the song. The question that he asks at the end of the song, that's the most important. Ye asks, do you have the power to let power go? Do you have the power to say no to power? I told you guys that Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end, and all of the usual suspects were really angry that I hinted towards that. What do you mean? You're not allowed to say that. They were attacking me, trying to make me fearful, to speak out and speak about the things that I know. I'm not feeling very fearful right now. I am, like I said, very angry. And I found, Charlie's favorite portion of the song. I'll show you the text between him and I, because this feels very relevant right now. This is, again, lyrics directly from the song Power, but I just needed time alone with my own thoughts, got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me. Taking my inner child, I'm fighting for custody with these responsibilities that they entrusted me. And that's a moment where he is really speaking about how hard it is. Like when you're saying, no, this is what I believe. And they say, you're not allowed to believe that. You feel like you are fighting for custody of yourself. And I want to be very clear that I believe, in fact, I know that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. I want to say that. I want to say that plainly. And there are lies that are being told.
I don't even know what to even think about that. Put it in the chat. Fighting for custody over himself. When I hear words like that, and I see these things like, where do these people come from? Where did J.D. Vance come from? He wrote a book, and next thing you know, he's vice president of the United States. How many people write books? I had a co-host supposedly wrote like 9 of them. I don't think he sold 12 copies. And that was like to all my friends. I mean, he's not vice president right now, right? But J.D. Vance, all of a sudden, he writes a book about, he grows up with nothing, writes a book, Hillbilly Elegy becomes a movie, and now he's vice president and the presumptive presidential candidate of next time, of what's that, 2028? How does that happen? Where does that come from? Where does someone like Charlie Kirk come from? How does he go from nothing to this? Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and all these people. Like nothing for, like, do you think they started with this nothing? I think so. I think Crowder did. I think some of them did. Some of them didn't. Some of them bought their way. PBD, where did he come from? He had a shit ton of money. A hell of a lot of connections. Boom. All of a sudden, gigantic, huge podcast. You don't think that these guys are funded by these giant propaganda machines that are taking them and putting them in front of you, and they get paid to get in the algorithms. They pay to get in the algorithms. Next thing you know, they're in front of your face, and boom, you're hooked. That's how easy it is. That's how easy the mind control is. You find someone you like, they feed you what you like, and they get this guy, boom, boom, boom. Now, I'm not accusing PBD of doing that. I'm just saying, where'd these guys come from? Where did Charlie Kirk really come from? Turning Point. Is he really the one with Turning Point, or does he have these giant mega donors? And when you hear that, trying to find myself, or the child in myself, or what do you say, fighting for custody of my own life, tells me this dude had a lot of people over him. Tells me he had a lot of overlords. So when I hear these Israel things, and apparently he had a meeting with Netanyahu. Let's play one more from Candace Owens. This one was interesting.
I'm being contacted by a lot of people that are telling me that just within 48 hours before Charlie passed away, his top Jewish donors were pulling funding from him, demanding that Charlie take their name off of the building that they had donated to Turning Point. I guess I can figure out who that is, how many people could have donated a building. And then once Charlie was killed, they said, never mind, put it back on the building. Okay. Charlie himself had alluded to a tremendous loss of money coming in. And we'll speak about that more. More people are going to come out with information. This is all inevitable. Okay. And I'll also point you in this direction. You guys remember Bibi recently was on a PR blitz, despite the fact that he was, fighting this 96,000 front war because Israel didn't do nothing. Okay. He was doing a ton of podcasts in America. He went on to Patrick Bet-David's podcast. He went on to Brandon Tatum's podcast. He went on to the Nelk Boys podcast. Anybody find it weird he didn't do Charlie Kirk's show? Homie very quickly told us that Charlie was penning love letters to him in May. I just love you so much. It's amazing. They were so close. The boys just hits him up like, hey, I know we're fighting this 97,000 front war because we're always the victims, but do you want to just come and maybe stay at my place for the weekend here in Israel? Like, that's the vibe that Bibi was rushing to present to the media. So why didn't you do Charlie Kirk's show?
Why didn't you call it Charlie Kirk's show, Bibi? I mean, he was on all of them. I did see him on all of them. He was doing a media blitz. And like she said, homie did come out really quick talking about how tight they were and how big of a loss this was. So now this is Candace Owens, who is very close to Charlie. We all know that. This is Tucker Carlson, who Charlie was getting a lot of shit for having Tucker Carlson on. Charlie was getting a lot of shit for having Dave Smith on his program. So if you're pissing off really big, powerful people that made you, do you think that they would kill Charlie Kirk just to send a message to everybody else that they own? Because they own everybody. You don't think if this is what, let's just say it is what Candace says it is, where let's just say really big, powerful, uber powerful people, let's call them Israel, who owns all these shows and throws all this money at them. Rumor is, and you heard a lot of people talking about this, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know for a fact that this is going on, but the rumor is that he turned down $150 million. Now, that would have doubled their budget. They have a $140 million budget, Turning Point USA. $140 million. And he turned down apparently $150 million? If that's true, you're searching for yourself. I guess that $150 million wasn't worth the price. Who is he selling himself to? What did he sell himself out for? And I think we know that he sold himself out for something when he was younger, trying to be impactful. Lo and behold, he was. And he did it. I mean, sometimes when you have all that money staring at you in the face, and I'm not saying I know this for a fact, this is just what I'm taking from it. He's a young kid with a voice and a passion, who probably knew the right people, got backing, was clearly smart, clearly put the time in, clearly put the work in, built something real, but it was the whole time he had people up there dangling the strings, pulling the strings, who really are the ones that controlled his money. I mean, that's the impression that I'm getting. And if they were able to do that to a Charlie Kirk, I guess, were the Young Turks on the left, are they part of this whole situation too? Or all these people that got all this mega funding, because a lot of them did. You look at what Ben Shapiro did. I think they got a $5 million infusion by that one guy. put a lot of money into all the social media platforms. The social media platforms pushed them out, and boom. They had a lot of funding and a lot of money. And you see this over and over and over again. Who's funding it? Who's the people that are pulling the strings? And who is that a message being sent to? You know, nothing for like, and I'm not, once again, all I'm doing is trying to think through this Israel conspiracy. But let's just say you are what they say Israel is. They control everything. They control all the media. They are the most evil people in the world. Let's just say I buy into that and just go down that road. If we think about that they are those type of people and they control everybody and they're watching the world turn against them. They're watching even America. People in America are just getting tired of their bullshit. And you're them. And right now you have media personalities that you funded that are now also starting to speak out against you. And what's the thing? You can't let that continue to snowball. You can't let that continue to go. What do? Boom. You take out one of the biggest names. Now the question is, do you think that they thought that this is going to be this big of a reaction? I don't know. But it's definitely this is definitely interesting to think about. PT Pod, we don't have a lot of comments today. I guess no comments in the chat today. That's all right. Good. I like when I get to talk anyway. Let's get. I don't think we have anything else to talk about with that one. I had a really big one with Charlie Kirk talking about. It was him and Megyn Kelly. Let me see if I could play this. And let's see if I could fast forward to that section so you guys could just hear that section. There we go. Here we go. Ready?
Well, the mess, and you saw me.
To further contextualize this,
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you saw me, you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been so unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no. I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
It's not defensible to be dumb, right? I mean, listen, you ever notice when people talk about Israel, they always have to do the disclaimer. Look, I love Israel. You know, I just love Israel. And they always fucking look down when they do it. Let me just say I love Israel. I really do love Israel. And not one of them seem like they actually really mean it. It seems like they have to say it. You have to declare that you love Israel if you are on that stage, if you're on that platform. Because anything else than that, then you are going to get cut off of something. You have to make that declaration. You know, it's kind of like looking over your shoulder before you tell the black joke. You guys all know what I'm talking about. You go like this. All right, listen, there was this black. You have to check. So it's the same exact thing. Listen, I love Israel, but we used to call that the tickle slap. Oh, yeah, I love Israel. We tickle them, but fuck you motherfuckers. It's called a tickle slap. It's called a tickle slap. As a management term for tickle slap. But I mean, that's Charlie Kirk. That's him in his own words, talking about he's having words with these people. So listen, you make up your own mind. If you ask me, I think it's incredibly plausible, this Israel situation, right? And the thing that you're not going to see from your government that you should see if they were really doing this out of the FBI is if they were real, just say this in my fantasy land, they would come out and they would investigate all of the conspiracies. I don't know if they are. Are they really going behind the scenes to see? Candace says things are going to be coming out. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat waiting for it, I guess. This is going to go away. This is good. This is going to go on for a long time. People say this, like, I thought this was going to be gone in a week. I don't think so. I think we're going to be getting drips and drabs of this conversation up until the midterms. I don't know. That's just my opinion. We'll see what's going on. Let's get to some other news. We had Cash Patel. Let's play a couple of these guys because this was fucking hysterical. This is Mazie Hirono. Actually, hold on. Ready? Everyone wanted to do this. Everyone wanted to do our breaking news. All right. So breaking news. Jimmy Kimmel was fired. And he was fired for, I guess he said some shit on the show. Where is Kimmel? I had Kimmel up here. I can't find him now. Where is it? You were up there. Oh, there he is. So this is Jimmy Kimmel. I guess this is what he got fired for.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
So a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish. Listen, I'm sure there was more to that he said that got canceled, that I guess he got canceled on. But to me, I thought that was pretty funny. I think everyone has to take a step back and realize something. Like, free speech is free speech. And if you believe in free speech, you believe no matter what it is that it should be tolerated. Now, listen, this is work. So if your work decides to fire you for your speech, that is what it is, because that's your job. So if that's what if you have one of those jobs where you get fired for what you say, luckily my boss is an asshole. I'm my own boss for the record, so I can say whatever the hell I want. But a lot of you guys can't. So you can't say that stupid shit. Speaking of stupid shit, let's get to this. This was a mayor of Dearborn, Michigan. This is everything wrong, and this is why I talk about religion taking over areas and forcing everybody else out. This is the idea of, when I speak about colonization, this is what I'm talking about. Big groups of people being sent to areas in groups. They get into groups and they don't want to change. They want everybody else to change. And this is the result.
Bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
You are not someone who believes in coexistence, and you don't belong here. The day you leave, I'm going to have a parade because you are an Islamophobe. He starts off with insulting the guy with a bullshit word that people made up. It means nothing. I'm sick and tired of phobes. If I hear one more fucking phobe It means nothing. Zero. But this is what happens, guys. Now, I want you to take that and think about, what if that guy was president? What if he was a governor of a state? What if we had 2 of them? What if we had 3 of them? What if we had 4 of them? What if we had 20 of them? This is what's going to happen. And then the regular person there that's just criticizing his religion does not belong in the town that guy probably grew up in. The guy he said doesn't belong there probably grew up in Michigan, in Dearborn. It's been taken over by those people, and he's telling the other guy, you don't belong here. You know, I see that going on in my area as well. I have one more thing. This is Cash Patel and Maisie Hirono talking about pull-ups. This is awesome.
To do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy and put him in handcuffs, you better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Doing one pull-up is not harsh, and there are always medical...
To do a certain kind of...
Doing a pull-up is harsh. I have concern that people are being subject to these harsh pull-ups. These are FBI agents. These aren't maids. Harsh pull-ups. Just so harsh. Hold on. Did she admit finally that women are different than men? You got to love when these guys own hypocrisy and they don't know what they're saying. They get told something and it's completely different and completely 180 from what they were told the week before. And none of it makes sense. It all contradicts each other. And they are just a spokesperson for absolute bullshit. Talking about bullshit, this is Jerry Nadler. Check this one out.
Politicizing the murder of Charlie King to go after free speech is not a legacy I believe Charlie King would have wanted.
Yeah, that Charlie King, all right. You know, he was, I guess, was he calling him Martin Luther King or Rodney King? I don't know. He wasn't beaten, he was shot, so I guess it was closer to Martin Luther King. But who's Charlie King? And, you know, he knew him so well. He knew exactly what Charlie King would want. You know, I knew this guy. I mean, me and him were close personal friends. Apparently, everybody's a friend of Charlie Kirk's anymore. I mean, Charlie King's. You gotta fucking love these people, man. Oh, you gotta love these people. Let's get to speaking of like laughing. Let's finish the show on a high note.
Shit. That made me laugh.
All right, this one didn't make me laugh, but this was just awesome. This was a dog getting rescued by the fireman and leading the fireman to his leash. Check this out.
Doing a quick sweep to see if anybody's home. Where's this dog at? Got him. Hey, buddy, come on. Come on. Come here, buddy. Come here. You're a good boy.
Isn't that awesome?
Come on, over.
Too. Oh my God, they're so evil.
This
Such
way,
evil
over.
dogs. It's a pit. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Now that's a pit. Look, I mean, that's 99% of the pit bulls that are out there. And you have places like the Blaze that are just going crazy against them. This happened, I believe, in Patterson, New Jersey, but this is New Jersey. I was fucking crying laughing at this. Watch.
The shit you see.
Sorry, Newark.
Fucking up. You got a motherfucking samurai. Hold up. Look at this shit here. Can't make this shit.
We got a motherfucking samurai. Yo, nobody is talking to that guy. Nobody is fucking with him. People aren't saying a word to him. You move out of the street as that guy walks along. 100%. You have a samurai just walking down the street. Oh man, you gotta love that. What else do we have? And I think that's really I have like a couple more bullshit ones on. Who is this one? I think this is another Cash Patel. Let's see, let's play it.
Director,
I will work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career in Congress.
I'm reclaiming my time,
It has been a
Director.
disgrace to the American people.
I'm reclaiming my time.
You can reclaim.
I'm going to call bullshit on your entire career in Congress. Fuck you. Fuck your career. Fuck your colleagues. It's all bullshit. You're a liar. You're a piece of garbage. Oh no, was that the one that was caught with the Chinese spy? I don't know. He was caught doing something, that idiot. But this is that's your Congress. I honestly found that hysterical. I found Cash Patel going up against these guys for the last 2 days to be one of the funniest things. I really needed it in my life. I needed the back and forth with these morons because, the Charlie Kirk stuff is heavy and I'm trying to wean myself away from it. It's going to be tough because there's stuff going to be coming out about it. And I honestly, I want to know the truth, but I was listening to that Cash Patel stuff for the last 2 days, just on the edge of my seat, just absolute ignorance. And this is what we have. The leftists allow this type of decorum by their people. And so do the right. So listen, guys, my message again tonight is, listen, at some point we have got to figure this out. And it's got to be past the major people. It's got to be past our politicians. It's really going to be incumbent on me and you to talk to regular people, for us to start talking. It's one thing to watch Charlie Kirk talk in front of everybody and do his things and take on all comers. But how about if you actually want to do something that might honor this guy's legacy? I would say honor your own legacy and start talking to people in real life. How about we engage the leftist? How about we start talking to people? How about we don't run into our own corners and only have friends that are a certain way? So I'm telling you, I think we're like a baseball team. I think this country is like one giant baseball team. And on my baseball teams, I've had every different group. I've had different religious people. I had Marines. I had state troopers. I had liberals. I had conservatives. And I'm telling you, we all were able to somehow play baseball. We're all able just to do that, to come together for that same common goal that was win a baseball game. So at some point in time, we have to stop looking at these people and we have to stop giving them our attention. We have to stop giving them because your attention is money to these people. And the more you give them your attention, the more they're going to do the horse shit, the more they're going to do the garbage. The way you protect yourself from that is to be your own cow trap, like I've been telling you to be. And stop giving that the attention it deserves. Listen to me. I'll watch that shit for you. Trust me, you don't need that in your life. You don't need it because it's just ridiculous. I don't even know how I put up with it. But hey, guys, thank you very much for watching tonight. I really appreciate you. I'd appreciate you hit that like button and share this with everybody. There's one thing that's for sure, and I mean this. Like-minded people have to join up. And we have to do this on a real grassroots level. We have to do this to where we're helping each other out locally, and normal people can do this together. I've been saying it to you. Stop looking at those people. Stop looking at the politicians and the big names. Look at your neighbor. Get to know your neighbor more than you knew Charlie Kirk by looking at his face. Do that type of stuff. Start talking to people again. Go to bars and strike up a conversation with someone at the damn bar. And who knows what you're gonna do? It may end up in a fight. Who cares? At least you're living on the edge of your seat and having fun. But I'm being serious. I don't think it will. I think that's what we're missing. I think everyone's in here. Everyone's on this. And by all means, I want you to watch me on this. But I want you to message me. I want you to talk to me in real life as well. So listen, guys, if there's one thing that I think we all have to do, is that. It really is that. We have to realize that they are the problem. And by they, I do mean our government. And just because Trump and Cash Patel are in there, that doesn't mean I automatically believe them. I certainly 100% do not. This caltrop is not going to believe the words that come out from any fucking government when they come out immediately the way they did. I am never going to spew that stuff back to you. I'm never going to sit here and tell you this is exactly what's going on. Even though I told you that I thought this guy was a leftist shooter, that's what they put out there. I'm not buying that that's real. We'll see what happens. Thank you guys very much again. And I will be back on Friday with Fresh Mike. On Friday, I'm telling you guys, we're not going to do anything really political. I'm going to get Mike's perspective on some of this stuff. I know he gave it, but he missed last Friday. We're going to get his perspective, and then we are going to do some fun topics. I have to get away from this stuff in my mind. I know you have to get away from this stuff in your mind. So let's do that. So join us Friday. I'd appreciate it. Check out my boys, PT Pod, Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. And I really, and of course, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Bleacher Brothers, I am going to be teaming up with the Bleacher Brothers. They are big on YouTube and in sports. So if you are interested in sports, follow the Bleacher Brothers. They are on Facebook. They are on YouTube. I don't know if they're on any other platform. And they're in X. They have a huge following on X. So check them out. Be sure to follow them, like them. They do a great job. They have a number of different shows from sports betting onto, college talk. They have the coaches show. They have an awesome lineup. The lineup was today. So be sure to follow the Bleacher Brothers and make sure you're going to be seeing, I believe, the caltrop on their channel very shortly. So thank you guys very much. And this caltrop is out. Later.